Immediately, I found that pill, half buried in the dustbin. My hands trembled, and my heart raced. Something was wrong. I didn't know what yet, but I knew I couldn't ignore it. It hadn't been long since my sister's sudden death. Her voice, weak but insistent, had called to me in her last moments. Promise me you'll take care of Ephema. I had nodded through my tears, not knowing what the future held. And now, her little girl, my niece, was living under my roof. I tried to make everything as normal as possible. Ephema's room was decorated with her favorite toys, her favorite colors. I made her favorite meals and tried to bring laughter back into her small, broken world. Chaik, my husband, seemed polite and attentive at first. He smiled at her, played with her, and reassured me that he would help me protect her. I wanted to believe him. I wanted to trust him. But the first signs of unease appeared almost immediately. Ephema became quieter, hesitating in his presence. Her once bright laughter faded into whispers. At night, she sometimes woke screaming, though she never told me what she had dreamed. I noticed Chaik watching her too closely, lingering longer than necessary when tucking her in. I tried to dismiss it, telling myself I was imagining things, that grief was making me paranoid. Then came the pill. Finding it hidden in the dustbin made my chest tighten with fear. How long had it been there? What was it for? My mind raced, my thoughts colliding with panic. I wanted to ask her, but I feared what she might say. I didn't want to break her trust. Not now. That night, I sat beside her on the bed, holding her hand. Her small fingers shook in mine. Ephema, is something happening? I asked gently, my voice trembling. She shook her head, too scared to speak. Tears fell silently down her cheeks. My heart ached. I couldn't sleep that night. Every creak of the floorboards, every shadow in the room made me tense. I replayed everything I had seen, every odd gift, every whispered conversation. A sinking feeling in my stomach told me I had to act, but I didn't know how. I had promised my sister I would protect her, and I was failing already. The next morning, I watched her closely as she ate breakfast. I smiled, trying to hide my fear. She smiled back, though her eyes didn't reach mine. My mind raced with questions, and the sense of danger only grew stronger. I knew something was wrong, but I wasn't yet ready for the truth. Days passed. Ephema seemed increasingly withdrawn. She refused to play in certain rooms, avoided Chaik's gaze, and sometimes clutched her pillow tightly as if it were a lifeline. I started noticing patterns, the way Chaik lingered near her when he thought I wasn't looking, the way he whispered things she never repeated to me. I felt helpless. The house, which had been filled with mourning and sorrow, now carried a new weight tension. I tried talking to her, gently coaxing her to tell me everything, but her fear was palpable. She flinched at my touch sometimes, and it broke my heart. One evening, I found her sitting in the corner of her room, tears falling freely. Her tiny voice barely audible, she whispered, "I don't feel safe, not with him." That was all I needed to hear. Rage and despair collided inside me. The man I had trusted with my life had betrayed the child I was sworn to protect. I made a plan immediately. I called my sister's best friend, someone I could trust, someone who had always been there for us. We discussed how to ensure Ephema's safety without alarming her, because I knew that fear could paralyze her. The next day, I took her for a routine checkup at the hospital, trying to appear calm. The doctors reassured me that she was physically fine, but the worry in their eyes told me they suspected something more. At home, I tried to shield her from Chaik. I kept her close, monitored every interaction, and spoke in gentle whispers to her whenever she looked scared. My own anxiety grew, and I began sleeping with one eye open, listening for every sound in the house. The shadows seemed to carry his presence even when he was away. And then it happened, she gave me a look one evening that said everything without words. A look of betrayal, fear, and helplessness. My chest tightened. I couldn't believe I had trusted him. I couldn't believe I had allowed this to happen under my roof. That night, I made a decision. I called the authorities and reported Chaik, detailing everything I had observed. It wasn't easy. I had been married to him for years, shared my life, my dreams, my home. But protecting Ephema was more important than anything. That night, I held her close, whispering, "You're safe now. I won't let anyone hurt you again." Chike was removed from our home. The house, once filled with tension and fear, felt eerily quiet. I still had nightmares, reliving every moment of doubt and mistrust. But I had made a promise and I would keep it. I focused on Ephema, rebuilding her trust and helping her heal. We started small, reading together, laughing over silly jokes, and reclaiming the spaces in the house that had become symbols of fear. Slowly, she began to smile again. The laughter that had faded started to return, small at first, then louder, more genuine. I reached out to my sister's friends and family, building a support system around her. We went on small trips, exploring parks and playgrounds, letting her rediscover joy. I taught her that it was okay to feel fear, to speak up, and to trust those who loved her. Each day, I reminded her she was safe, loved, and valued. Even though the trauma had left scars, we grew stronger together. I often found myself thinking of my sister, wishing she could see the girl she had entrusted to me. I promised her, silently, that I would never let fear take over Ephema's life. The house transformed from a place of grief and betrayal into a sanctuary of healing and hope. I learned that protection wasn't just about shielding her physically, it was about rebuilding her sense of trust, teaching her resilience, and surrounding her with love. And through it all, I never forgot that pill, the first sign of danger. It reminded me to trust my instincts, to act when something felt wrong, and to fight for those who could not fight for themselves. We were safe now, and slowly, cautiously, we began to dream again. Laughter filled the house once more, hope replaced fear, and I knew that my promise to my sister had been kept. Nothing could take that away, not ever.